Welcome to the KSi AutoTreat system tutorials. As you follow along, please reference the KSi AutoTreat V5.1 System User's Manual. In this video, each section will cover how to operate your KSi AutoTreat system touchscreen. To open the KSi AutoTreat application, double-click the KSi System Controls icon on the desktop, or click the KSi logo on the Windows taskbar. This will open the KSi AutoTreat application to the home page. The home page has navigation options to the four main parts of the system. When the system is first opened, the control page is locked out and cannot be accessed. To access the control page, the operator must navigate to the support page and enter their name, license number, and company. Each time the operator agreement is agreed to, the applicator name, license number, and company are recorded with every transaction, printed on the transaction receipt, and logged to the database with the current date and time. When you open the AutoTreat application, you will be greeted with the home page. The home page has navigation options to the four main parts of your KSi AutoTreat system. Let's review all of the general icons you will be using to navigate and access on your KSi AutoTreat touchscreen. Starting with the home icon, this represents the home page. Selecting this icon will return the user to the home page. This icon is located in the top left corner on every page throughout the KSi AutoTreat system. The data icon represents the data section of the KSi AutoTreat system. Navigate to this page to view, enter, and edit data information, as well as run reports. The system icon represents the system setup section of the KSi AutoTreat system. Navigate to this page to set up and calibrate your equipment. The support icon represents the support section of the KSi AutoTreat system. Navigate to this page to view system supporting documents such as manuals, help guides, training videos, operator agreement, and our phone support hotline. The control icon represents the control section of the KSi AutoTreat system. Navigate to this page to control and monitor equipment. Orders can also be set up from this page. The options icon, when selected, will open an additional window showing a screen navigation tool with selections for ease of access to pages of the AutoTreat system. The help icon, represented by a question mark, is an extension of the support page, containing supporting documents such as manuals, help guides, training videos, and our phone support hotline. The help icon can be found on all pages in the upper right corner for quick access. Finally, the exit icon, located in the bottom left corner of the support page, represents closing out of the KSi AutoTreat system controls application. The system section of the KSi AutoTreat application provides setup, configuration, and calibration functions. Locked areas, shown as grayed out, are restricted and can only be accessed by a KSi technician. Accessible non-grayed areas may be adjusted by the user. The Seed Sources tab represents the physical seed storage locations, such as bulk bins and boxes. Each bin that is controlled by the automation will have a corresponding seed source. In addition, there will always be one universal box source for any seed variety being run from a mini bulk package. This page will be set up in advance by a KSi controls technician, either before or during your scheduled startup, and operators will not need to add or delete seed sources on this tab. On this page, the table located on the left displays the complete list of seed sources, while the form on the right shows the information for the seed source that is selected and highlighted in blue on the left. To edit a seed source, select the desired source, then click the Edit button located at the bottom of the form. From here, you may adjust the location of the seed source, the inventory count, the overall capacity, and the minimum order size that can be drawn from that source. Assigning a seed variety to a source is done through the drop-down menu within the form. This menu allows you to select from all seed varieties that have been added or created by the user on the data page. Once a variety is selected, all parameters associated with that seed variety will automatically populate the form. These parameters can be edited as needed to match the actual seed variety loaded into the seed source. If the system is equipped with a seed wheel, additional fields will be available. The seed wheel cal field represents the cup weight determined by weighing a known volume of seed on a gram scale. The seed wheel shift factor is applied to the seed wheel cal weight to compensate for any seed treatment accuracy error. The seed wheel auto adjust option enables the system to automatically fine-tune the seed wheel shift factor, ensuring greater accuracy during operation. The treat process section is where the various parts of the treating operation are set up and defined. The primary components of a treating process may include a mixing device, an atomizer, a seed wheel, and any auxiliary devices. The specific devices used will depend on the equipment installed at the site and are configured by a KSi controls technician during startup. Within this section, general timers are available that can be modified by the user as needed. To adjust these parameters, select the default treat process, click the Edit button located beneath the form. Among the most commonly adjusted timers are the following: the seed start delay, which prevents seed from flowing until the designated time has expired, allowing pumps to start before seed flow begins. The liquid start delay, which holds pump stands from starting liquid flow until the timer has expired. And the liquid stop delay, which allows the pump stand to continue running briefly after the treating process is complete. The treat device page is where each device involved in the treating process can be set up and adjusted. While most of the available settings are restricted to KSi technicians, certain parameters can be modified by the user. It is important to note that the majority of these settings will already be configured by a KSi controls technician during startup. Each device operates using a defined start trigger type, which determines the condition under which the device will receive its start command. Once the trigger type is defined, the start delay timer determines when the device will turn on, activating only after the delay time has expired. Some devices also make use of the pulse on enable feature. This allows the device to run at a different speed than its normal auto speed for a specified time period. A common example of this is the mixing device, which may begin operating at a slower speed during the initial stages of the treating process. The time on and set point values define how long the device runs at this alternate speed and what percentage of speed is applied before the system switches over to auto speed. These parameters are executed once the start delay has expired. In a similar way, each device is assigned a stop trigger type, which specifies the condition under which the device will stop running. A corresponding stop delay timer is also available, ensuring the device continues to operate until the set delay time has passed. Finally, the pause parameters define how a device will behave during a treatment process interruption, such as a tolerance fault or a system pause and resume event. The fault delay timer specifies how long the system will wait before responding to a triggered fault, though it does not apply when the operator manually presses the pause button. The resume delay timer establishes how long the system will wait before resuming normal operation after a pause has ended. The treat sources page is configured by a KSi controls technician during startup. Each treat source has specific configuration and control parameters for the liquid pump stands. Users can view and edit a treat source by selecting it from the table on the left, which will then populate the fields on the right. To make changes, select the desired record and press the Edit button, which will open the form for updating and saving the treat source. It is strongly recommended that users consult with a KSi controls technician before making adjustments to these parameters, as improper settings may negatively affect treatment performance. Each treat source includes a set of configuration fields that define its operation, calibration, and fault tolerances. The location and source type, liquid or dry, can be identified along with the current source amount in fluid ounces. The central portion of the table contains calibration values such as the flow meter cal factor, cal time, cal speed, and volume cal factor. These are automatically generated when a calibration cycle is performed. Additionally, control parameters determine how the pump responds during operation. The p-value sets the proportional gain, affecting how aggressively or gradually the pump corrects rate changes. Boost settings, such as boost amount, boost to rate, and transition time, define how the pump starts and transitions to automatic control. The shift factor allows fine-tuning of accuracy if consistent over or under treatment is observed. Maximum operating limits, including max rate and max speed, are also defined through calibration. Tolerance settings establish acceptable operating ranges. These include upper and lower fault tolerances, the allowed time outside the tolerance before a pause occurs, and no flow protection. Finally, the monitor delay specifies how long high and low tolerances are ignored when the motor first starts or when the system resumes, preventing false faults during startup. The bottom portion of the table is used to assign liquid products to a treat source. To load a liquid product, select the drop-down menu on the far right. All liquid products that have been created or added by the user on the data page will be available for selection. When liquid is physically loaded onto a stand using a barcode scanner, the corresponding product will automatically populate in this field. For treat sources equipped with a flow meter, calibration is recommended twice daily and any time a new slurry or liquid is introduced. Treat sources using a loss and weight scale should be calibrated whenever the liquid product is changed, as the product's density is determined during initial setup. To begin calibration, ensure that both valve handles on the pump stand are set to calibrate in cal. Select the desired treat source from the grid on the left, which will populate the associated fields on the right. Click and hold the jog button to pump liquid into the calibration tube until it reaches the 0 ounce mark. If the liquid level is above 0, drain the tube back until it aligns with 0. Next, set the pump speed and time, which is commonly set as 20% speed in 180 seconds. The goal here is to have the pump stand fill the cal tube with as much liquid without overflowing. The more liquid in the tube, the better the calibration is. Press save to confirm the settings. When ready, press the start button to begin calibration. For treat sources using a loss and weight scaling system, ensure no one touches mixing tanks or kegs on the stand during the process. As the calibration runs, the remaining time will count down. If the process needs to be stopped due to setup error or lack of liquid flow, press the abort button. In addition to standard calibration, it is important to determine the maximum rate a pump can deliver, which can vary depending on the pump stand hardware, product being applied, and product temperature. To determine the max rate, select the max button at the bottom left of the calibration page. Ensure the treat source runs into the empty calibration tube, then press max start. The system will briefly run the pump at full speed, then stop. Once completed, the maximum rate in fluid ounces per minute will be populated. Press submit to save the value to the treat source record. Finally, the tune function allows operators to test the pump's ability to meet application rates without running an actual order. From the calibration page, enter target ounces per hundredweight and treatment rates. Then run product into the calibration tube to simulate treating seed. These values can be adjusted as needed until the pump is confirmed to deliver the required rate. Once the timer ends, read the liquid level in the calibration tube and enter the value into the cal actual field. Press submit to record the calibration, which generates either a cal factor for flow meter treat sources or a density measured in pounds per gallon value for loss and weight scale treat sources. The printer configuration page allows the user to define which printers will be used to generate receipts and barcodes, as well as specify the number of copies of each receipt type to print. There are 3 types of receipts available. Receipt 1 is the primary receipt and contains detailed information including liquid targets and treatment application amounts. Receipt 2 is optional and provides a simplified record that lists only the recipe name without liquid targets or application amounts. Receipt 3 is a box tag receipt, similar to Receipt 2, and is designed for tagging containers. It also only displays the receipt name without liquid details. The data section provides access to all of the core information used within the KSi AutoTreat system. This area allows the user to view, create, and edit system data, ensuring that operational records and resources remain accurate and up to date. Within this section, the user can manage a variety of data categories. Customers can be added or edited using entry forms. Transaction reports provide records of system activity. Seeds can be entered and updated with variety details. Seed sources allow management of bins and boxes linked to automation. Treat products can be added or edited with inventory tracking and barcode scanning included. Containers provide visibility and tracking of liquid containers. Recipes combine treatment products and allow for adjustment and profile mapping. And orders can be created by linking a customer, seed variety, recipe, and desired ordered amount. This centralized data management ensures that all components of the KSi AutoTreat system operate from accurate and consistent records. The Customers section within the data page allows the user to view, create, edit, and delete customer records that are used throughout the KSi AutoTreat system. Maintaining an accurate customer list is important as these records are referenced when creating and managing orders. To create a new customer, the user should select the New button. This will open a customer entry form where the necessary information can be entered. Once the form has been completed, pressing Insert will add the new customer to the data table located on the left side of the screen. To edit an existing customer, the user must first highlight the desired customer name from the data table. After selecting the Edit button, the customer record will open and can be updated as needed. Once the required changes have been made, pressing Save will update and store the revised information in the system. To delete a customer, the user must again highlight the desired customer name from the list and select the Delete button. A confirmation pop-up will appear to verify the request. If the user selects Yes, the customer's record will be permanently removed from the data table and will no longer be available for use in orders. The Seeds section of the data page allows the user to view, create, and edit seed varieties that will be used within the KSi AutoTreat system. Maintaining complete and accurate seed information ensures that orders are processed correctly and that treatment applications are applied with precision. To add a new seed variety, the user should select the New button, which will open a form for data entry. It is recommended that the user fill out as many details as possible when entering seed varieties to ensure accurate processing. The most important fields include the name of the seed variety, the crop type, the lot number and batch number located on the seed tag, the amount type, which defines how an order is set up when selecting a quantity of seed for delivery and treatment, the seed size measured in seeds per pound, and the seed count per unit, auto-populated based on crop type. Once the required information has been completed, pressing Insert will save the variety and add it to the data table located on the left side of the screen. To edit an existing variety, the user should highlight the desired seed entry from the list, select the Edit button, make the necessary changes, and then press Save to update the record. To delete an existing variety, the user should highlight the desired seed entry from the list, select the Delete button. A confirmation pop-up will appear to verify the request. If the user selects Yes, then the selected seed variety information will be permanently removed from the data table and will no longer be available for use. The Treat Products section of the data page allows the user to view, create, edit, and delete all liquid treatment products used within the KSi AutoTreat system. Any treat product entered in this area can be assigned to a treatment source during system setup or calibration. Properly recording product details ensures accurate application rates, inventory tracking, and system performance. To add a new treat product, the user should select the New button, which will open a data entry form. When filling out the form, it is important to include key information such as the product name, the target rate measured in fluid ounces per 100 pounds or CWT, the liquid density measured in pounds per gallon, and the product's lot and batch numbers. Once the required fields are completed, pressing Insert will save the product and place it into the data table on the left side of the screen. The Treat Product form also provides tools for managing product inventory and usage limits. Users may record the current inventory level in fluid ounces and set an alert level to trigger when supply is running low. Minimum and maximum rate values can be defined to prevent accidental entry of treatment rates that are either too low or too high for the selected product. For certain products, such as water or colorant, the system allows rate adjustments during operation, but this is only possible if the adjustable option is enabled for that product. When this setting is active, the user must also define the allowable adjustment range measured in fluid ounces per 100 pounds or CWT. To edit an existing treat product, the user should select the desired product from the list, click the Edit button, and make the necessary changes, and then press Save to apply the updates. To delete a product, the user must highlight the entry, select the Delete button, and confirm the deletion in the pop-up message. Selecting Yes will permanently remove the product from the data table. To add a manufacturer treat product, go to Treat Products, select the New button, then Manufacturer option. Once selected, a list of available manufacturer treat products will appear. Scroll through the list and locate the desired product. With the desired treat product highlighted, click Add to add the product to the system. Treat product containers and their statuses can be viewed from the Containers selection. A container represents a specific keg or package of product that belongs to a broader treat product. The KSi AutoTreat system tracks and stores information at this granular level to allow for individual tracking of product, batch numbers, lot numbers, and container details. Containers are typically added through the barcode receive product process. When a product is scanned and received, a container is automatically created and added to the list. Alternatively, a container can be added manually. To receive a container, go to Treat Products. In the table on the left, select the treat product that will have an associated container. Then choose Receive Container. A form will open allowing the user to manually create a container for the chosen product. The form includes the following fields: capacity, the maximum size of the container; available gallons, the number of gallons currently available in the container; empty percent, the percentage level at which AutoTreat will report the container as empty. Enter the desired information on the form and select Save/Print. When saved, the system adds the treat product to inventory based on the amount entered in the capacity field, and a barcode is printed from the barcode printer. Apply the printed barcode directly to the container that was received. Recipes can be viewed, created, and edited from the recipe selection. When entering an order, the recipe options available will come from the active recipes defined here. A recipe is made up of one or more treat products selected from the treat products the user has added into the system, along with an application rate measured either in ounces per CWT or 100 pounds, or ounces per seed count unit. On the recipes data page, all recipes are listed in the table on the left. To view the details of a specific recipe, select it from the table and the related recipe information will appear on the right. Before a recipe can be used in an order, a recipe mapping profile must be created. The mapping profile assigns each treat product in the recipe to a treat product stand, telling the AutoTreat system where each treat product will be dispensed during the recipe run. To add a new recipe, select the New button. If a pop-up appears asking you how to create the recipe, select Local to build one yourself. A new recipe form will open where you will enter the recipe name, description, and any comments along with selecting the crop associated with this recipe. The crop selection is very important as the crop type on the recipe must match the crop type of the seed selected for an order. Additionally, the crop will determine the unit size, seeds per unit, which can be changed for soybeans, cotton, corn, and so on. This field is critical because it defines the size of the unit used for an application rate that is entered in the ounces per unit. Once this information has been entered, select Next to proceed. From here, you can begin adding treat products to the recipe. Select Add Product and choose the desired product from the list. Enter the appropriate application rate and specify whether the rate type will be measured in ounces per 100 pounds, ounces per CWT, or ounces per unit. After entering this information, select Add Treat Product to Recipe to record the addition. Repeat this process for each treat product that needs to be included in the recipe. When all of the treat products have been added and the recipe details are complete, finalize the process by selecting Save. The recipe will now be available in the system and can be used for orders once it has been properly mapped. To edit an existing recipe, highlight the recipe in the table on the left, select the Edit button, then a pop-up form will appear like before. Highlight the treat product listed in the form and either select Modify Rate to change the treat product rate or delete treat product to remove the treat product from the list. Click the Save button to update the information. To delete a recipe, simply highlight the recipe, select the Delete button. A pop-up will appear asking the user if they are sure they wish to delete the recipe. If the user selects yes, the recipe will be removed permanently from the list. If the KSi AutoTreat system machine has been associated with a manufacturer that provides pre-loaded recipes, these recipes can be added directly from the recipe page. Manufacturer recipes come pre-configured with a recipe name, the associated treat products, and the defined treat product application rates. To add a manufacturer recipe, select New. From the recipe type options, choose Manufacturer. Then select the desired manufacturer from the drop-down list. The manufacturer's available recipes will be displayed, and you can either scroll through the list or use the search filter to quickly find a specific recipe. Once a recipe is selected, its items and application rates will appear on the right-hand side of the screen for review. After confirming the selection, click Add. The manufacturer recipe will now appear in the recipe list, where it can be used to create a recipe mapping profile before being run with an order. For any recipe that is created, a recipe mapping profile must be set up to associate each item in the recipe with a treat product stand. From the grid on the left, choose the desired recipe and then click the Recipe Mapping Profile button on the right side of the screen. For example, if KSi Training Tutorial 2 is selected, it will appear on the right-hand side. Selecting the Recipe Mapping Profile button will open the Recipe Mapping Profile window. At the top right of the table, you will see a link labeled Mapping Recommendations. Clicking this link will open a PDF that provides guidance on mapping treat products to pump stands. Inside the Recipe Mapping Profile window, each treat product in the recipe is listed as a row with the following columns. Liquid source. This defines which treat product source/stand this treat product will be loaded onto. It is user definable. Slurry, a checkbox that is automatically checked if another treat product is assigned to the same stand. Ratio, for treat products that are part of a slurry, this shows the percentage of the total slurry that the treat product represents based on the recipe's application rates. Slurry ingredients, lists all treat products included in the slurry, separated by underscores. To complete the mapping, select a treat product in the list and assign it to the stand using the liquid source dropdown. For example, if the treat product KSi training tutorial is selected, you may assign it to treat source 1. Once selected, press save. The chosen source will now appear in the treat product source column for the treat product. Each time you save, the system automatically recalculates the slurry, ratio, and slurry ingredients columns for all treat products in the recipe. Repeat this process for each treat product until all are mapped to a stand. Once complete, the recipe mapping profile window will show all of the updated data. Once all mapping is complete, the cancel button at the bottom of the window changes to Save and Close Recipe Mapping Profile. After saving and closing, the recipe is ready for use on an order. The status of a recipe's mapping profile can always be checked from the recipe page. If the mapping is complete, the Recipe Mapping Complete checkbox next to the Recipe Mapping Profile button will be selected. For any created recipe, the Recipe Mapping Profile can be revised by selecting the Recipe Mapping Profile button. This will open the Recipe Mapping Profile window, displaying the profile as it was previously defined and saved. From this window, any treat product in the recipe can be selected and reassigned to a different treat product source as needed. Click the Save button after making changes, and then click the Save and Close Recipe Mapping Profile button. Transactions can be viewed from the transaction selection, which displays all orders that have been completed through the KSi AutoTreat system. Any transaction can be reprinted by selecting the receipt icon in the transaction details. On the transaction page, selecting a transaction from the table on the left will load its details on the right-hand side. The transaction detail includes seed delivery information, weather information, and treatment information. There are two grids that display treat product delivery information and treat product source information, both sharing accuracy and target information. A trend graph is also provided through the trend graph icon, showing each treat product applied to the seed with a trend line comparing target versus actual application with a brief summary of accuracy for each treat product. This graph is a valuable tool for reviewing past orders and troubleshooting runs that did not perform as expected. All transactions can be exported to a CSV file, allowing the data to be opened in Excel for filtering, analysis, or further manipulation. To export transactions, select a transaction from the list and select Export All under the transaction details. Next, click Browse and navigate to the folder where you want the CSV file to be saved. Enter a file name and press Open. Finally, select Save to create the CSV file, which will include all transactions and be saved to the location specified in the target file text box. The control section of the KSi AutoTreat system provides the operator with an interface to manage and control the system through the automated control process. From this page, the operator can process orders, monitor their progress in real time, and oversee the entire order workflow while it is running. The header on the control page provides key information about the currently loaded order and includes options to set up a new order or reset the current order. On the left of the order button, the seed source section displays the selected seed source for the order along with the related seed information. On the right of the options button, the order information section shows details specific to the currently loaded order. In the center of the header are 3 primary control buttons. The order button is used to load or set up a new order. Once an order is loaded, the start button initiates the order process. The options button opens a window with additional user options. Below these controls are 2 important functions: global reset and lock discharge rate. Selecting global reset cancels the current order entirely and resets it for a restart. When pressed, a transaction is created for the amount of seed already discharged from the scale. A prompt will then ask if a new order should be created for the remaining balance of the original order. Selecting yes will create and automatically load a new order for the remaining seed. The lock discharge rate function is described in detail in the lock discharge rate section of this manual. Orders can be created either from the orders data page or directly from the control page. From the control page, an existing non-completed order can be loaded or a new order can be created. Pressing the order button opens the order wizard window, where a new order can be set up or a loaded order can be edited. The bottom half of this window displays all orders that have been created but not yet run. Orders created in AgConnects or another system integrated with AutoTreat will also appear in this list. These orders can be selected and modified by choosing Modify Selected Order. To set up a new order, select the New button on the Order Wizard page. From here, the operator can select a customer seed and recipe and define all order details. It is important to note that the crop type of the selected seed variety and the recipe must match. If a destination is chosen that bypasses the treater will be disabled and the default no treat recipe will automatically be selected. If an order is created without all required selections, such as a missing recipe, the order will be created but cannot be started until it is modified and completed. Once the order is configured as desired, select Create and Load at the bottom of the form. This section loads the order into the system, making it ready to be run. Once an order has been loaded, it is ready to be started. To begin the order, press the Start button on the control menu. When the Start button is pressed, the system automatically moves all motors, treat pumps, general devices, seed hopper gates, and bin gates required for the loaded order to auto. Devices not used on the order will remain inactive, and divert valves will stay in their manually set status. After pressing Start, the scale fill process will begin. As devices engage and interlocks are satisfied, the status square to the left of each step will turn green. During scale filling, the scale display shows the actual weight as it increases. Additional indicators in the scale section reflect the status of the order process. The system will fill the scale up to the target draft weight, displayed beneath the scale details. Once the bin gate closes, scale fill devices continue running for the cleanout time defined in the seed source setup for the specific seed source. After the cleanout time elapses, the system switches to a discharge mode. If treatment is enabled for the order, the system pauses and waits for the operator to select Continue. Once Continue is pressed, the scale discharge equipment engages, and the steps and interlocks for this equipment are displayed in the discharge grid. While treatment is in progress, seed flow and treatment product status can be monitored via the treatment status dashboard. If more than one batch is required to satisfy the order, the system will automatically start the next batch after the previous scale has been discharged. Once all batches are completed, a green check mark appears beside the order name in the header, and a completed stamp indicates the order has been successfully finished. The system finalizes the order, prints the final portion of the roll ticket, and sets the transaction receipt to the office printer if enabled. The transaction is automatically recorded in the database. After the order is complete, a new order can be created by selecting the Order Wizard icon to either load an existing order, create a new order, or repeat the previous order. From the control page, the Hand-Off Auto, also known as the HOA page, can be accessed by selecting the menu icon and then choosing HOA. The HOA page displays all devices controlled by the KSi AutoTreat system and allows the operator to manually interact with each device. To control a device, select it from the corresponding grid and then choose FWD for forward, RVS for reverse, open, or off depending on the device type. For motors equipped with speed control, a % speed field becomes available when the device is selected, allowing the operator to adjust the motor speed. Similarly, for adjustable gates, such as KSi VariRate gates, a field will appear to enter the desired gate percentage. This functionality provides operators with precise manual control over individual devices while maintaining visibility into system status. The KSi AutoTreat system uses device status indicators to show the current state of each device. An auto idle status is displayed with a black box, while an off status is shown with a power icon. A fault status appears as a red box. The running forward position is shown with a green box, and the running reverse position is displayed with a yellow box. At the top center of the HOA page and at the top right corner of the control page, the status indicators for CPU, emergency stop, and air pressure are displayed. If any of these indicators appear red, the AutoTreat system will not process an order. If the CPU icon is red, this means that the touchscreen is not communicating with the CPU in the main panel. Verify that the panel is powered on. If it is, access the panel that houses the CPU and confirm that the CPU itself is powered on. If the CPU is not on, check that the circuit breaker has not tripped. If the emergency stop icon is red, this means the emergency stop button on the main panel has been triggered or pushed in. Ensure that the emergency stop button is pulled out before running the system. If the air pressure gauge icon is red, this means that the physical air pressure gauge at the air manifold is below the recommended 60 psi required to operate air-driven devices. Confirm the air supply unit is on and all airway valves are open. If both are correct, check for leaks at the air manifold. The order can be configured to pause the system before the scale discharges, prompting the operator to specify how many pounds should be delivered from the scale. This process is referred to as a shot. To enable shot control, check the shot control checkbox when setting up the order. When enabled, the system will pause prior to scale discharge and request that the operator define the desired shot size. To set the shot size, select the shot button in the bottom left corner of the control page. In this window, the operator can define the shot size, as well as configure the pre-act and settle time parameters for the shot process. For the pre-act, since the gate requires a moment to fully close, the system begins closing the gate slightly before the target weight is reached. This field specifies how many pounds before the gate should start closing. The settle time defines the number of seconds the system waits for the gate closing before recording the scale weight. This ensures that the shot size printed on the shot ticket is accurate. The bin calibration procedure can be performed at any time during a run, provided the order amount exceeds 1,500 pounds. To initiate a bin calibration, check the Calibrate Bin checkbox in the Run Options section of the order form. Once selected, the system will automatically generate updated values for the seed source, including the pre-act, discharge rate, and cleanout time. At the completion of each batch, suggested pre-act adjustment values can be reviewed and accepted by accessing the pre-act details from the control page. To do this, select the pre-act button located in the bottom left corner of the control page. The most recent batch can be viewed by selecting the top record in the grid, which displays the previous batch's seed pre-act value along with the newly suggested values. The batch pre-act field shows the current pre-act value, while the new pre-act, cleanout, and fill rate fields display the system's recommended adjustments. To accept these new values, select Update. These updated values will then be applied automatically the next time an order is run from the same seed source. If no adjustments are desired, the suggested values can be ignored.